Hi, I'm Russell Sturgis. I'm the founder and principal of EAP Mentor. Welcome to the 2021 blog series. This year I'm going to be focusing on mindfulness in its application in real life. And so I'm going to be looking at the sorts of issues that we are confronted with and the way in which we can adopt mindfulness as a practice in that regard. So the sorts of topics I'm going to be looking at are things like mindfulness and parenting. I'm going to be doing a talk on mindfulness and relationship, and there'll also be one on mindfulness and sexuality. I'll be looking at mindfulness and the environment, mindfulness and gender, looking at things like depression, aging, death, and addictions. So there's going to be some really meaty subjects that we're going to be looking at in terms of how to apply mindfulness to these things during the course of our year. And you'll be able to watch the video, and you'll find the written blog that you'll be able to read, just to provide a platform for thought and consideration. If you have any questions or any comments about the blogs that are presented this year, please don't hesitate to contact me. The easiest way to get onto me is russell@eapmentor.com. If you want to contact EAP Mentor, it's info@eapmentor.com. So mindfulness from the Enhances Awareness program perspective, and from my personal perspective, has what I call a Western twist to it. And so therefore I make reference to the fact that this is a practice of Western mindfulness. My definition of Western mindfulness based on the EAP model is remembering in each moment that you have a choice to be kinder to yourself, to others, and to the planet. Now, all of the latest research in neuroscience and this concept that's referred to as neuroplasticity suggests that in order to change behaviours or habits or patterns of behaviour, basically you've got to develop new neural pathways. And simply put, the act of constantly remembering that you have a choice to be more loving to yourself, to others, and the planet. Every time you stop and consider that, you're helping to build a new neural pathway. You're going to find a link in the blog to a short video on neuroplasticity that was created by a Brisbane company called Centus, who has given us permission to use this video. And it's a really simple and lovely description of neuroplasticity. And if you get a chance, it goes for about 2.5 minutes. When you're finished watching this video, go and have a look at the link on our YouTube channel, the EAP YouTube channel, but the link will be there for that. Okay, so we've created at EAP an acronym which is SILO, and not for any other particular reason other than that the letters that make up the word silo suit what it is that we teach as a mindfulness strategy. And I wanted to share that with you and give this to you as a tool that you might consider using during the course of this year as you make more self-loving choices. Okay. So S is the first letter, and that stands for, and it's simple, stop. Now, when you find yourself in a place of feeling discombobulated, so you're feeling maybe depressed or angry or frustrated, but you feel yourself having lost your peace, the minute that you feel yourself going out of your peace, stop. Now, some of you are going to say, that means I'm going to be stopping all day long. Well, if that's what it takes, then do it. But the first thing is to just stop and have a look at what's going on. Just take in the facts. Don't give it a meaning at this particular point. Just see what's happening, what the trigger is, how it's impacting on you, but don't go into the why. All we're doing is just looking at what are the facts of the event at this moment. I stands for what's the impact of my old patterns of behaviour. If I continue to do what I've always done in the past, what's going to be the impact? Now, you've probably been in this situation that's caused you to be discombobulated many times before, so you know what the impact's going to be. And so take a moment to consider, how serving is that going to be if I continue down this route? The other thing that you can do is take a moment to think about, well, what would be the impact of a self-loving alternative? In other words, if I was to be more loving, how would that make a difference to me and to other people and maybe to the planet? Which automatically takes us into the third one, which is L, which is what the loving alternative would be. Now, if you've been working on developing mindfulness, typically what you've done is you may have considered different outcomes that you'd like to have in terms of how you'd like to experience life. And so this whole notion that you're considering that you'd like to have life be one that's more joyful and that has more love and that gives you more inner peace and sense of being fulfilling, and that you'd like to have this as the modus operandi, that you'd like to have this as your way of experiencing life as opposed to the exception of the rule. So you've already established what you would like to have as a new reality. And of course, having established that as your reality, you're then going to see that as the loving option. And maybe you've also considered what it's going to take to get there. That's the awareness part of mindfulness. Awareness is identifying the strategies that I would have to put in place in order for me to have those things become a reality. At this point, you might want to incorporate that if you've done that much, but at least take a moment to consider what you would love to have as your alternative reality, where it's serving to you, to others, and to the planet. The fourth step in all of this is called options, and this is one of the unique aspects of the EAP approach, and this is the whole idea of following the easiest option. And of course, this is the one that takes that comes naturally for you under these circumstances. So you've stopped, you've looked at what the impact's going to be, you've considered the loving alternative, and the easy option may be to continue to do what you've always done before. And that's okay, because the key for change isn't in just going, I'm going to force a change in my behaviour, and I've written about this many times, and I want you to consider it now. But how many people do you know who tried to force change around diets by forcing themselves to eat differently? How many people was that sustainable for in terms of them developing a new way of eating, a new way of turning up in the world? And of course, the diet industry would fall on its face if everyone just did one diet and succeeded. So we have this situation where we encourage you to do what comes easiest. So if you're in traffic and somebody's cut you off, if the natural response is to still get angry after you've done the other three steps, and this is the key here, where the discipline is required, is to stop, consider what the impact is, what's the loving alternative, and then choose the option. Invariably what happens is, in our early stages in developing a more mindful way of living, we tend to go with the old habit. But as I was explaining just before, every time you do silo, you're actually creating a new destination and a new neural pathway. You're starting to create within the brain an alternative route for how you can live your life, which is called a neural pathway. And neuroplasticity is this idea that the brain is plastic, and so we're able to develop, even in old age, we're able to develop a new pathway going to a new destination. And so what happens is, as you continue to practice living life mindfully, remembering that you've got this loving choice, you build the neural pathway such that it becomes much stronger and rigid than your old habit, and it sort of atrophies. And what you find is that there's a critical tipping point in this choosing of options in terms of how you move forward, where the tipping point is you go, do you know what, today, instead of just doing what I've always done, I'm going to make the self-loving choice, and I'm going to act in this way. And so you go through this process of catching yourself after the event, catching yourself through the middle of a discombobulated event, to eventually you get to the point where you can see what's about to happen. And even before you get discombobulated, you can move into this self-loving, self-nurturing place of being kind to yourself, but also being aware of being kind to others and to the planet. The Enhances Awareness program is the way in which we help teach you how to do this and to have it become a way of being. And please go to our website, eapmentor.com, to find out more about that. But in the short term, silo is still a very easy principle to apply, and one that can really make a true difference in terms of how you experience life and helping you to overcome those old habits of discombobulation that leave you not feeling very, very well. Okay, so please go and in the written blog, have a look at that link and go and have a look at that little video. It's a lovely little video explaining neuroplasticity and how it happens, and giving you the rationale for our Western approach to mindfulness. I'm looking forward to sharing these blogs with you over the next 12 months. I think they're going to be kind of interesting ones as they look at the real practical application of mindfulness as it relates to some very real issues that most of us are dealing with, and for many of us are causing the sorts of discombobulation that has us be out of our peace. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll speak to you again next month. Bye.